Naoya Inoue's story begins not with the sound of a bell, but with the quiet chill that precedes it. There is something almost supernatural about his presence, something that makes opponents uneasy long before a single punch is thrown. Those who have faced him describe the sensation of facing a powerful force, a predator concealed in tranquility. When the bell rings, it's less an invitation to box and more a signal that the inevitable has begun. They call him the monster for a reason. His stare alone sends shivers through the spine, his composure magnifying the menace beneath. Fighters enter the ring with him not to compete but to survive, and even survival is rarely granted. Each bout becomes a performance of destruction, a short, brutal story written in speed, precision, and terrifying efficiency. When Naoya Inoue made his professional debut at 18, he carried the energy of a lion freed from its cage. The crowd barely had time to settle before he began tearing through his opponent, Inoue, with hooks that cracked through the air like baseball bats smashing against wood. The young Japanese fighter displayed power that belied his frame, technique that belonged to a veteran, and composure that could only be described as surgical. Inoue had no answer, no counter, no plan, only the instinct to survive. But even those instincts failed him as Inoue's combinations sliced through his guard. It was a debut not of promise, but of arrival. The monster was born. 3 months later, Inoue returned to the ring, and Yaojan Shivatana walked straight into a nightmare. The opening jabs were sharp, measured, and probing, as though Inoue was unlocking a door. When it opened, he stepped through with violent elegance. Hooks ripped from both sides, his timing impeccable. Shivatana tried to respond, lunging forward to seize control of the pace, but Inoue met him with a perfect counter left hook. In an instant, his opponent's legs betrayed him. One shot, one motion, one collapse. Inoue's fist seemed to rewrite gravity itself. The fight was over before it began, and the audience understood that they were witnessing the rise of something different, a boxer who didn't simply win but dismantled. By 2013, the young Japanese prodigy was carving through competition with frightening ease. When he faced Jason, the smooth operator Manchio, fans expected a test of skill, perhaps a drawn-out chess match. Instead, they witnessed another swift and merciless dismantling. Inoue's body shots forced Manchio to retreat, circling and jabbing in desperation, but the monster was relentless. Every punch found its mark, every step forward felt inevitable. A clean 1-2 knocked Manchio down. Inoue's combinations in close quarters turned the ring into a crime scene. After 5 rounds of precise brutality, he ended the fight with a flawless flurry, sealing his reputation as the sport's most efficient finisher. 3 months later, Inoue stepped into the ring against Omar Narvaez, a world champion who had defended his title 27 times. Experience was on the Argentine side, but youth and violence were on Inoue's. The monster didn't even allow him to unpack. Inoue's first assault landed with the power of a thunderclap. Narvaez went down as though struck by lightning. When he rose, the left hook found him again and dropped him once more. The third knockdown was academic, a final signature on the contract of pain. Narvaez had faced countless fighters, but none like this. That night, a 21-year-old Inoue became a world champion, the youngest in Japan's history at the time, and a monster in name and in truth. After a year away from the ring, Inoue returned to face Warlito Parinas, a tough and durable opponent known for testing everyone he faced. But Inoue doesn't test, he executes. The fight quickly turned into a speedrun. Parinas tried to smile through the pain, perhaps to mask his discomfort or trick himself into confidence. Inoue saw through it. His combinations cut through the grin, his timing broke Parinas's rhythm, and by the 3rd round, the fight was over. It was less a contest than an exhibition of precision, an artist sharpening his tools for greater challenges to come. The following year, Inoue defended his WBO junior bantamweight title against Ricardo Rodriguez, a fighter who made the mistake of taunting both the monster and the Japanese crowd. Wearing a traditional Japanese headband as mockery, Rodriguez thought he could rattle Inoue. Instead, he signed his own defeat. From the opening bell, Inoue targeted him with merciless intent. Every punch had purpose, every movement carried menace. By the third round, Rodriguez was on the canvas, his lesson delivered in the language of pain. A final left hook closed the chapter. Inoue bowed to the crowd, expression unreadable, as if he hadn't just delivered another masterpiece of destruction. December 2017 brought another challenge. Yon Boyos, a taller, undefeated fighter who had gone over a decade without losing. The Frenchman entered confident, using his reach to keep distance, but Inoue quickly solved the puzzle. Within minutes, Boyos felt the left hook that had ended so many before him. The monster's punches landed like steel rods, each one shaking the ring. Saved briefly by the bell, Boyos returned to meet his doom in the next round. Inoue tore through his defenses, smashing his liver with surgical precision. There was no escape, no survival. When the referee stepped in, Boyos's undefeated record was gone, his body broken by a fighter who made the extraordinary look effortless. In 2018, Jamie McDonnell of Britain entered the ring with confidence and humor, joking about Inoue's name and mocking its pronunciation. But when the bell rang, Inoue introduced himself the only way he knew how, with violence. From the first exchange, McDonnell was overwhelmed. Inoue's body and head shots landed like hammer blows, and within moments, the Brit was on the canvas. When he rose, he was no longer smirking. The second knockdown ended the fight, and McDonnell learned that it didn't matter how you said Naoya Inoue's name, only that you remembered it. Later that year, Inoue entered the World Boxing Super Series and faced Juan Carlos Payano, a skilled and confident fighter with experience and speed. Payano tried to establish rhythm, jabbing and moving with purpose. It lasted less than a minute. Inoue feinted once, stepped forward, and unleashed a left-right combination so clean it sent Payano straight into unconsciousness. 1 minute into the fight, it was over. The knockout was voted Ring Magazine's Knockout of the Year. It wasn't just a win, it was an announcement. The monster was evolving, his power now refined into perfection. On May 18, 2019, Inoue met Emmanuel Rodriguez in a match charged with tension. The day before, Rodriguez had shoved Inoue's father and trainer, Shingo Inoue, during the weigh-in. The monster said nothing, simply folding his arms and smiling faintly, knowing retribution would come inside the ring. When the bell rang, he unleashed fury. His punches dug deep into Rodriguez's body, bending him in agony. A left hook sent Rodriguez to the canvas for the first time in his career. He rose, shaken, only to be dropped again. The third knockdown sealed it. Rodriguez's expression as he sat dazed against the ropes said it all. He had faced something beyond human. Inoue didn't gloat. He simply turned away, job done. After a brutal war with the legendary Nonito Donaire later that year, Inoue's myth only grew. For the first time, he bled, his eye swollen, his resolve tested. Yet he stood firm and won a unanimous decision, showing not only power but heart. It was proof that beneath the monstrous precision lay a warrior spirit forged in fire. 2 years later, they met again. This time, the monster came prepared not for survival but for domination. From the opening seconds, he pressed forward with lethal confidence. Donaire, proud and brave, tried to fight fire with fire. Inoue extinguished him in 2 rounds. The Filipino legend, one of boxing's toughest veterans, could do nothing but admire the destruction before him. It was no longer a rivalry, it was a coronation. Inoue continued his rampage, defending his titles in Las Vegas against Michael Dasmariñas. The Japanese champion stalked his opponent from the start, his movements smooth, his expression blank. In the second round, he landed a body shot so sharp it paralyzed Dasmariñas. The man folded, gasping for air, barely beating the count. Inoue didn't relent. Another to the same spot, and Dasmariñas crumpled again. He rose once more, only for Inoue to repeat the execution, a third knockdown, the same result. The fight was stopped. Inoue's face remained emotionless. There was no celebration, no boast. For him, this was work, precise, efficient, inevitable. Then came his rematch with Donaire, and Inoue turned what was once a war into a demolition. Every punch was thrown with purpose, every movement calculated. Donaire's brave heart couldn't save him. Within 2 rounds, Inoue had ended the fight, leaving the Filipino hero stunned, beaten, and silenced. It was both a farewell to a rival and a testament to Inoue's evolution. The monster had become a complete fighter, technical, intelligent, and still devastatingly powerful. By 2025, Inoue stood at the pinnacle of the sport, undisputed, unchallenged, and unyielding. That January, he faced Yajin Kim, a late replacement who entered the ring looking determined but visibly shaken. Inoue's calm was almost eerie. As he stepped forward, there was no hesitation, no testing of distance, just direct, predatory movement. Kim tried to circle, to jab, to find comfort in motion, but the monster cut the ring like a hunter closing in on prey. Every shot landed with precision, every step forced Kim backward. Within moments, it was clear he was overwhelmed. There are few things more terrifying than realizing you cannot hurt the man in front of you. Inoue began to toy with him, his rhythm fluid, his punches measured. The crowd could sense it. The monster was having fun. Kim tried to hold his ground, showing heart and defiance. At one point, he even beckoned Inoue forward, inviting more punishment. It was a brave gesture, but a fatal one. Inoue obliged, unleashing a furious barrage of hooks, uppercuts, and body shots that tore through Kim's defenses. The Korean went down, dazed, his will crushed. He tried to rise, but the referee had seen enough. The monster had claimed another soul, another victory for his collection of flawless executions. Each of Inoue's performances feels less like a fight and more like an anatomy lesson in destruction. His timing is alien, his precision, frightening. He doesn't swing wildly or chase knockouts, they come to him naturally. He studies his opponents like puzzles, dismantling them piece by piece until there's nothing left to solve. His left hook, often the final punctuation, is both a weapon and a signature. Fans around the world watch in awe as he dismantles champions with the efficiency of a machine and the artistry of a master craftsman. Yet behind that aura lies an athlete defined by discipline. His power is not reckless, it is engineered. Every movement he makes is the result of countless hours of practice, of drills performed until muscle and mind merge into one. His footwork, sharp as a blade, allows him to create angles that few fighters can perceive. His defense, subtle and precise, makes him a ghost until he decides to appear. What makes Inoue terrifying isn't just his strength, it's his certainty. He knows he will land. He knows he will finish. And his opponents know it too. From his teenage debut to his dominance across 4 weight classes, Inoue has never lost his hunger. The monster nickname, once just a moniker, has become a prophecy fulfilled. He embodies the perfect fusion of skill, power, and poise, a fighter who doesn't need theatrics or trash talk. His silence is his weapon, his stare his first jab. The bell rings, and time seems to slow. Then, before anyone realizes what's happened, it's over. 15 minutes of quick executions, another body added to his legend. For fans, each Inoue fight feels like witnessing controlled chaos, a performance where violence becomes art. His punches sound different, clean, precise, echoing through arenas like rifle shots. His knockouts don't come from chance but from mathematical certainty. He reads his opponents like open books, flipping through their defenses until he finds the final page and closes it with a single strike. It's not brutality for its own sake, it's mastery. Inoue's opponents, no matter their skill or courage, all share a moment of realization, the instant they understand they cannot win. Some recognize it early, their eyes widening behind their gloves. Others cling to denial until the first punch caves in their ribs or buckles their knees. The monster doesn't celebrate these moments. He simply moves on, another victory completed, another lesson taught. He respects the sport too much to gloat. His satisfaction comes from perfection. As the years pass, his legend continues to grow. Younger fighters idolize him, veterans respect him, and fans revere him. He represents the essence of boxing: simplicity, precision, and power. There are no wasted movements, no unnecessary words. Just the bell, the stare, and the inevitable end. Whether it's a body shot that paralyzes or a hook that shuts down consciousness, Inoue delivers each strike like a craftsman finishing a sculpture. One final touch, flawless and final. The monster's reign is not defined by titles alone, but by the fear he inspires. His opponents train harder, study more, and still fail to survive. Trainers warn their fighters about his timing. Commentators run out of superlatives. Even legends from other eras watch in admiration, acknowledging that Naoya Inoue is something rare, a boxer who transcends divisions, a symbol of what pure, refined violence looks like when governed by intelligence and discipline. Every time he steps into the ring, anticipation builds, not of whether he will win, but of how. Will it be the left hook to the liver? The straight right to the chin? The calculated dismantling that leaves his opponent standing but broken? Whatever form it takes, the outcome is the same. Another story of dominance, another addition to his ever-growing mythology. Naoya Inoue is more than a champion. He is the embodiment of precision and purpose, a fighter who reminds the world that boxing, at its highest level, is both science and art. His stare before the bell is the calm before the storm, and his silence afterward is the echo of inevitability. In every era, the sport produces greats, but rarely does it produce a monster. And when it does, all that remains for his opponents is to survive the brief, violent privilege of sharing the ring with him.